me cover this, man, because this is something that I wanted to talk about the health and vitality of the Saints team going forward. This is a big one because this happened back in a while when they brought this guy in, Tom Rath. We've been often pushing, and this bowls true because we talk about, the Pelican. I do the Pelican post game report, me and DC and Lex, and we always talk about two things. We talk about leadership and we talk about the injury staff, more so the injury staff than anything. Outside people that don't know anything about the team, that look at the stats and they just, whatever they see and they don't do any thorough research, they will never know your team better than you. Because even though you respect other people's teams, you know your team, you know the personality of this type of stuff, you know all of this. So when the reason I say that is because you always hear the Saints banged up, but they never put the other part to it. It's like other teams are suffering from injuries too. It's not just an isolated situation that only impacts, even though the Saints get hurt and the Pelicans get hurt more than other teams, that's their fault. What do you mean, Q, by that? The injury monster just don't like their asses more so than they like anybody else? The injuries hit everywhere, but there's a preparation. It's a way you can deal with the injuries. You can't prevent them all or stop them, but you can reduce them with preparation and people that know what they're doing. There's levels to it in the sports medicine field, just like there are levels to every damn thing in life. There's love. They got shitty doctors. They got great doctors. They got shitty cops. They got great cops. They got people in, you see what I'm saying? There's levels to everything in life. Everything in life, regardless of where it is, it's always going to be some that are better than others because of the preparation, because they studied more. All this kind of stuff plays into it. It's just a degree of how it works in life. It's just what it is. I say that about the Saints and the Pelicans medical staff because if you want to reduce the injuries where your best players are on the field and they're there, if you got your best players on the field more than likely you're going to experience more success because these people are talented. They're hard to stop. They're nightmares. These are excellent players, but you short yourself if you do this other stuff when you don't bring in people that know what they're doing. Now, perhaps the people we had was good enough for a 6 or 5 or all this type 5 or 6 wins or this type of stuff for football and all the bullshit that we see with the Pelicans. But in the end, if you want to do something about injuries, you got to hire the correct people that know how to stop it. Is this guy one of these guys? Because this is who Kellen Moore brought with him. Kellen Moore is smarter than a lot of people giving him credit for. He knows he had an opportunity to study and look at the New Orleans Saints team and understand that injuries have been punching the Saints and the Pelicans in the face for years. So much so that all the Saints do is blame injuries for why they keep effing failing every year. To the point where I am totally disgusted. I know you are disgusted about it. And they sit up here and pretend like their hands are shackled, like they can't do nothing about it. We just at risk to it. We can't prevent it. We can't do nothing about it here, man. We just gonna just cross our fingers and just hope that just with good old fashioned luck that is going to stop it. And then that's not how it works. You could prevent this stuff. You could severely reduce this stuff with the right technology and the doctors. That's how other teams are doing it in the NFL and every damn where else. They spend the money to stop it or severely reduce it. That's facts. Is this man one of them? Tom Rath was tasked with peak performance and minimizing injuries for the New Orleans Saints. Rath twice has been named the strength coach of the year. Can this man help us keep these players on the field? Now, we talk about a lot of people all the damn time about this guy, and that's proper. But one of the most important people to this season's success is this man right here. This is the guy. Because if he is who they say he is and he's that good, you're going to get ready for some success, fam. Get ready. So let's just hit this article right here. This is straight off the NewOrleansSaints.com site. Ted Rath, New Orleans' new director of sports performance, who occupies a vital role in the effort to help conditioning Saints players well enough to play at peak level while also minimizing injury. The second part of this is crucial. During the last week's 5-12 campaign, center Eric McCoy missed 10 games. Quarterback Derek Carr missed 7 games. Receiver Rashid Shaheed missed 11 games. Chris Olave missed 9 games. Running back Alvin Kamara missed 3. Kendre Miller missed 11. Right guard Cesar Ruiz missed 4 games. Were just some of the players on offense who missed time due to injuries. Now, Rath's background suggests he can help. He has spent 15 years in strength and conditioning experience, and last was with the Eagles from 2020 to 2023. Philly reached the Super Bowl in 2022, and Rath was named Strength Coach of the Year by PF Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association, the second time he won the award. His connection to Kellen Moore dates back to Detroit. Rath was the Lions' assistant strength and conditioning coach from 09 to 15, and Moore was the Lions' quarterbacks coach 2012 to 2014. He spoke recently with John DeSacia, shout out to JD, and this is some of the interview that he said. So do we call you Whisperer Savant? I don't know that I've been called any of those. It says, what is your base and how do you start with these guys in the offseason? What are you looking to accomplish? Rath says step one, because this is the cool thing. I've had Kellen as a player, so he understands from a fundamental standpoint just how I operate consistently. And I understand how he operates. A thing that I've always found in my career as a kind of a transition through bigger roles. I found sports medicine has been this huge influx for 10 years, 15 years ago, all these things. I think sometimes you can get paralyzed by some of the numbers, just analytics and some of the other things that are coming in and out, flooding the world of sports and football specifically. It's still football. So at the grand root of things, we still have to establish a strong mentality and physically tough football team. So we have to build a culture in order to do that. This is a strength and conditioning coach talking like this. When Kellen and I started talking about this, that was the first thing. It was, how do we elicit a culture and how do we build that? Well, we build it by connecting. We build it by competing. We have to be together. We have to form a team. A team is the culture. That's the living and breathing diagram and the diaphragm of what we have that has been driven by the culture of the team. And that's eventually how we're going to build a tough football team that can win games. And then, of course, he goes into it. And this is the second one. Just the second question. I ain't going to, bore y'all with the rest of it. But he asks him, what are some of the things you're looking for in terms of the goals for conditioning for this team? Rath says, number one, we have to be ready to play football. This is a football sport. It's not like we're a weightlifting team. It's not like we're training for something else. We're training to get them at full speed to really not just go through a four-quarter game. If we get into an overtime situation, we have to be ready to continue to peak week after week after week for 18 weeks, plus the playoffs and the postseason. So for us, it's established in a baseline. You have to be physically strong enough to overcome your opponent. But when you have to, he says, but when you have to have what's called repeat spurt ability, we have to have the ability to line up, rest for 30 and 40 seconds, get to the next play call, then boom, line up, go again at an even higher level. So for us, that's preparing the tissue so that we're not breaking down. We're not pulling muscles. There's no soft tissue injuries, things like that. So we have to build the tissue so it's durable, but we have to train the metabolic system. So if it go out and play 4 quarters of football at a very high level. The man know what he's talking about, bro. Did you catch that? And the reason I'm saying is because we've seen the Saints players suffer from this all the time. This man been working with the Eagles. You've seen this demonstrated in the recent Eagle team, outperforming the other teams, taking it through the wire, get into the Super Bowl. And let's not kid ourselves. We know that to make it through a grueling NFL season, it takes more. It takes something else. It takes extra training. It takes a mentality, which this man talked about in the first paragraph. Then he broke it down and talked about, we're not training you for weightlifting. We training you for football. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I just found that so very good, because the question I've been posing about the Saints is, what are you going to do about the injuries when they step up? And that some of this other stuff that we've been dealing with is a result of the training staff. These players are not prepared properly. That's why we seeing all of this stuff happen. And Kellen Moore seen it and brung this damn man from Philly down here with him to help him build up the Saints. And the man, first conversation he talking about is building up the mentality. Before you even get to the body in terms of the muscles and all this kind of stuff, he talking about building them up here first. Because he understands from a metaphysical standpoint that you don't do the body before you get the mind right. You deal with the mentality and the mind, that the mind is first and all else follows. Mind over matter. He understands that. So when I read that, I was like, man, let me share this with the fam. Let me share this with the fam so that the people that had the AQ, I'm concerned about the injury situation, what they're gonna do. I had to show Rath and heard his words and give it to y'all and say this is what we needed to hear. This is what it takes. When you got to have, if you want to make it to the Super Bowl, you got to have a Super Bowl trainer, because the Super Bowl trainer knows how to tune the mind and the body of the people before the coach even get his hands on them. Did you get that, baby? So I found this very inspirational. So I hope that you guys get that, and get that in spirit. And with that, I was like, man, listen here. I think we all right. We're going to be all right. Because that impressed me, because I already know Kellen was smart. But when I seen, I was like, man, look at this guy here. Look at this guy. He knows what's going on. He did his research well. So can we see, like what we seen with McCoy and all these other guys, or we've been seeing for the last 4 years with these miscellaneous injuries and all this, and me saying all this stuff about, man, this the training staff, this the health staff. Good to know, man. Kellen got something going here. You got to have a Super Bowl trainer if you want to have a Super Bowl team before the goddamn coach get his hands on them. Their body got to be ready for that trip, because it is physical as hell. We seen that. We seen Philly do it. This guy came from Philly. Let's give him an applause, man, because I think I'm happy about that shit. I'm happy about that. All right, vibing with the Johnson said, "Q, that was all." Oh yes. Did it hit your head like it hit me, bro? Did it get y'all that? Because listen, fam, we've been knowing this for a long time, man. It's good to know these people are actually paying attention to what's going on and how we need to really get this team in the right direction, to be quite honest with you.